Gonna be honest, don't really know what I'm doing.
He was often a player that I would buy on Football Manager.
It's already a terrible reason.
From Jon Snow, Matt puts Dan's wardrobe to shame.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Look at him, the cat that got the cream.
Ian Taylor said it was the worst thing he'd ever seen in his life. Monk, really, I know he's manager. What kind of say this?
Gary Monk, 5 out of 10.
I haven't finished yet. I cannot believe Gabby Bonner.
That's crazy,
That's
isn't
terrible. It? Yeah, we may well have lost listeners early doors again with a long-winded intro. Go, shoot. Hello, welcome back to the Villa View, podcast number 7. I'm joined by a very late Tom Julian, who's delayed this podcast by an hour. Tom, any excuses?
Yeah, lots of excuses. Work, travel, the fact that we record the podcast in your, pretty much in your backyard.
My domain.
Everything about it is in your favour, and all I've got is grief so far. So thank you for that. But I'm pleased to be here.
You made the decision when you accepted your new job further afield, so really the blame lies with you. Big week for Aston Villa. Big signing, arguably the most high-profile championship signing ever, or second-tier signing ever, whichever decade you're from. Agree?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I can't remember a player that's got this much fanfare, Villa or otherwise, than John Terry. It's been quite a 24 hours, really, hasn't it? I mean, we've been waiting for it for 2-3 weeks. Birmingham City fans were waiting for it as well. I don't think they were ever in the running compared to Villa, apart from if John Terry was motivated by money, and it's kind of proven that he's got a little bit more fire in the belly and he's ready to go and win a championship.
Well, this has really brought the Birmingham fans out on social media. I've been having a lot of chats, shall you say, with the Birmingham fans. I don't think they're taking it particularly well. They're a little bit in denial, if you ask me, because it seems that Birmingham offered the same or similar wages. No, sorry, Birmingham offered more wages than Villa, but yet he's still chosen to come to us. And then Harry Redknapp's kind of sat back. It's a bit like when you ask a girl out at school, she says no, and then a few people get wind of it and they say, "Did you ask that girl out?" And you go, "No, I don't like her.
Nah,
she's not fit."
Never wanted her.
That seems what Harry Redknapp is doing today, in my opinion.
I mean, it's not because he's Birmingham City manager, it's because he's Harry Redknapp. That's the kind of guy he is. He will go after the big names, and he has brought in big names to various clubs. And if he doesn't get them for whatever reason, then he will distance himself as well as he can do from them. And hard luck to Birmingham City. You know, he would have been a great signing for them. There's no doubt about that. But he's signed for the right side of Birmingham, and I can't understand people that don't think he's a good signing. I think he'll play a decent amount. I think he'll be such an advocate in the dressing room, such a positive presence, and I'm really excited. Even the way he's speaking now. I listened to an interview with Pat Murphy from the BBC on Monday Night Club last night, and he just sounds like he's ready to play. He's got, like I say, that fire in the belly, and yeah, it's going to be an exciting year, hopefully.
Yeah, you see, I think last season we went the route of trying to sign captains and leaders. So Lansbury was obviously a captain at Forest, Jedinak at Palace, Elphick at Bournemouth. I think Horahan was captain at Barnsley as well. So we went the route of trying to get more leaders in the side, which is good to have leaders down the core of your side. But John Terry, he's beyond being a leader. He's a next level for me, and he will bring something that no one else could bring to our dressing room. If you look at players in England over the last few years, there's probably John Terry, Steven Gerrard and Roy Keane who've dragged their teams over the line at certain times. They're the first three that spring to my mind. We have signed a natural born winner, and whether you're 36 or 26, if you're a leader, and that's not going to change. And I'm excited personally to see what he'll do for the likes of Grealish, because I think Jack Grealish is someone who has needed a role model and needed an arm round his shoulder, and I'm not convinced he's really had the genuine role model at Villa. I think Gabby Bonner, openly Grealish says he's his hero, and whatever you think of Gabby, he isn't at the same level as John Terry as a role model. And I think last summer when Petrov was with the first team, you could see Grealish was looking up to him and hanging around with him, and I think this is just going to be massive for Jack Grealish now if he can get himself focused on the football, get himself into the Villa 11 first and foremost. I think Terry can do wonders for him because he's been there and done it. He'll know all the things that you shouldn't do as a young footballer. John Terry, whatever he's done off the pitch, he's got himself to the top of his profession. So I think he can do the same for Gridge. I really think he can help our youngsters.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit last week, I think, where a few Villa fans were a little bit concerned that we were searching for more veterans rather than young players. And I said that we've got a load of young players. We just need to motivate them properly. We need to inspire them to know what it means to play for Villa and really play their heart out and to get themselves out of this championship. And like you say there, John Terry is the absolute man, isn't he? He has dragged Chelsea around sometimes. He's a truly class player and professional, again, on the pitch and at the training ground. Put aside what you think of him as a person, this is a good football signing.
I think he's made mistakes as a person, but I think you'd be hard pressed to find many top level footballers that maybe haven't done that. I think a lot will have made mistakes, but I think he's a genuinely a good person. I've seen him in the past do a lot of stuff with charities and stuff that he didn't have to do, that he's done off his own back. I think he was even involved with the Harry Mosley charity.
Oh, great.
At some point, he was very good to Stilian Petrov when he was in, and Stilian Petrov's gone on record and said that. So if Stilian Petrov likes you, that's good enough. Good enough for me. I think he's just going to do nothing but make a positive impact for us. And I get that people are worried he won't play the games. And yeah, he won't play 46 games a season. But I think people were worried about Jedinak playing every game. But he ended up playing most games. And John Terry won't be nipping off to Australia every month.
That's a very good point. And it's worth mentioning as well, a few people have mentioned the money. One, as a Villa fan, it doesn't really matter to you. And two, there's a huge bonus involved in the signing. So if John Terry isn't the player that we think he is and he doesn't help us to get to where we want to be, then it's not going to be as crazy money as some people are reporting as well. So, yeah, I mean, I've said it 3 times already. We've only been recording for 6 minutes. Great signing and really excited.
Well, if you don't go up, like you say, he doesn't get that £2 million bonus. I completely lost my train of thought of what I was going to say. So if we don't go up, he doesn't get the bonus, but also if he doesn't play, we're actually pretty well equipped at centre-back, especially at the moment. Nathan Baker's a good third-choice centre-back, and I said that I only wanted us to sign a centre-back that was better and can offer something different and better than Baker, and I think that's what we've done. I mean, Baker should feel hard done by. I mean, he won't start the season anyway because he's suspended, but we've got that competition now. If we don't have John Terry playing, Baker and Chester have shown that they can be comfortable in the Championship, so it's only a good thing. And to me, he'll raise standards as well instantly by having someone like John Terry at training, on the pitch on match day, in the dressing room. Everyone's standards will rise and everyone will listen to him. Yep. There won't be a player in that dressing room that won't respect John Terry, and that's massive to have that kind of character in there, and it can only be a good thing for Aston Villa.
Couldn't agree more. I found it interesting, John Terry again on this interview was talking about his relationship with Steve Bruce, and he said Steve Bruce tried to sign him for Huddersfield in 2000, just after Terry had finished at Nottingham Forest, and he tried to sign him as well when Steve Bruce was trying to become England manager. He wanted John Terry to be the defensive coach, so he's pursued him quite far. And John Terry as well this off-season has been training with Alex Bruce. I don't know if that means anything for Alex Bruce's future at Villa, whether he is going to be that kind of backup centre-back.
He hasn't signed anywhere yet,
He hasn't signed anywhere.
Still wouldn't surprise me to see him rock up, because I think Elphick will go. Mm-hmm. They'd probably like to get rid of Richards if they can, not because he's a bad egg, just because he's on Premier League wages. So there would still be room for that fourth centre-half. I believe Kevin Toner's going to go on loan again. So it still wouldn't surprise me if come deadline day we haven't signed another centre-back, and Elphick and the people I've mentioned aren't there. Mm-hmm. If he did rock up, because he's been in a lot of places with Steve Bruce, and I've said before, as a fourth choice centre half, I'm quite comfortable with Alex Bruce. But Bruce actually deserves a lot of credit. I mean, the owner will take the plaudits, and rightly so, because he's backing his manager to the hilt, and he backed Di Matteo to the hilt as well. And actually, going off topic a little bit, think that John Terry will do for the owner what he wanted Di Matteo to do, because he'll bring a stature. He'll make the world sit up and take notice. For want of a better word, John Terry's a global brand. Everyone who follows football knows who John Terry is, so it puts Aston Villa on more global maps than perhaps they were before. So I think from that point of view, we might make our money back in shirt sales and PR and whatever. I mean, you're the PR man. We'll probably make our money back.
Yeah.
And if we go up, then that £2 million bonus is nothing. It's a drop in the ocean.
Totally. I think you're right. I think he's going to sell shirts for one. He's going to attract more season tickets. I think that's true as well. And I think more kind of casual punters will want to see John Terry. If he can prove early on that he's fit and strong and healthy and ready to go, then that will attract people as well. So, yeah, no, exciting times for Villa, and we'll see. Did you see the tattoo?
Yeah.
That was branded Mr. Bear 9 on Twitter. Guy Higgins' real name, I believe. Lost a bet, didn't he? Or no, he didn't lose a bet. He challenged the Twitter universe. He basically ruled out John Terry signing, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a dangerous thing to do, that kind of thing.
Very much. I mean, you faced a much better proposition if John Terry signed with Birmingham, getting a date with Mila Kunis. That's a better option than getting a tattoo.
I'd have definitely taken that. But if you offered me the choice between the two, I'd rather Terry signed for Villa than the date with Kunis.
Well, that's very lovely. Very, very good of you. So Guy Higgins now owns a lovely multicoloured John Terry captain, leader, villain tattoo on his derriere. Also shit on the city as well.
I didn't know we could swear in the podcast, Tom, but...
I'm just quoting the...
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm not. It's SOTV.
Yeah.
SOTC.
Okay. I actually... If we go up, if we win the league, I'd be tempted to get a John Terry lifting the tattoo. I'm not going to commit to it, but it would be tempting.
I think you should.
No, not yet. Early days. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just going to nip to a few fans' comments on our video. So we did do a transfer announcement video yesterday. Matt Lynch fans will have been pleased to see him. It feels like I don't speak to Matt anymore since I've been doing the podcast with you, but that's not the case. The Villa View videos will be picking up again now that pre-season started and we're actually getting some proper news. So Sean White said, big signing and a big dressing room boost, and this will show the lads that the impossible can be possible, and I hope Terry can give the winning mentality to the boys so we can go on an early winning streak and hopefully do what Newcastle did and win the league. Good comment from Sean there. It's probably worth mentioning at this point that maybe there's some people who are listening to this podcast who don't know what the Villa View is. We are actually a YouTube channel as well. We've been going for about a year and a half now. We've done some pretty cool things over the last 18 months. So if you could subscribe and check that out with your post notifications on YouTube as well, that'd be great.
That's the company line there.
Yeah, doing what Dan Rollinson's asking me to do. A good disciple.
Yeah.
Someone else has put here, John Terry about to give Jack Grealish the biggest kick up the arse. I don't actually think Jack needs a kick up the arse. So that's come from CH 2016. Could be a Chelsea fan. Not sure. I don't actually think he needs a kick up the arse. I think he needs an arm round him and to be told he is a good player. I don't know if you heard Tim Sherwood talking about him.
I did, yeah.
This morning he was waxing.
Yeah.
Lyrical.
I mean, he's one of Jack Grealish. Tim Sherwood, like you said before, got his chance really with Sherwood, didn't he? And Sherwood prides himself on these young players. But I think you're right. I think he needs a bit of love. He needs to show that he's really vital to this team, as do some of the other young players in this side actually. And John Terry again knows how to get the best out of people.
Yeah, we've got one from Jack the Lad. Jack the Lad. I'm imagining he's going with
Jack the Lad. You should try that out. See what your friends think.
Big heart, big gob, big performer. Just what we need.
Very similar to you.
Okay. I'm not a big performer. I've got a big gob and a big heart though, but I think that's fair. What he's saying there, like I say, everyone will listen to John Terry when he speaks. As long as he gives his all for the cause, none of us will care about his past or his ego. Let's just get promoted. That's come from Staines 2012. We've got a few on the other side of the coin.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Obviously, we're majorly for this signing, but there is going to be Villa fans that aren't too keen. So we've got Splon 114 on YouTube saying far too old at 36. He won't even play 50% of the games as he's injury prone at this stage of his career. I think he only missed 10 games last season through injury, so he wasn't on the bench for 10 games through injury, because let's face it, he didn't get near the Chelsea team last season in that back three.
Yeah, but the year before, when he was 34, he had his best career season ever, didn't he? He played 34 games, I think.
Was that the season they came ninth? Or the season they won the league? I think it might be the one they came. They came ninth.
That's not a selling point. Is
no. No, but they obviously, it was dressing room stuff going on with Mourinho.
Yeah. But the point is that at 34 he could play a ton of games. So, and as we mentioned before, nobody expects him to be playing week in, week out, especially when it kind of comes down to the most busy parts of the season. So he will be a very valuable and often a first teamer, but a squad player as well.
the end of the day, if you look back over previous Villa teams, we've had centre-backs like Martin Larsson and Paul McGrath who've struggled with injuries, and I don't think John Terry's in that league of struggling with injuries just yet. These kind of players, they know their own body, so McGrath and Larsson will know when they're not fit to train, when they need a day off, and they'll know when they're not ready to play, and John Terry will be exactly the same. He'll know when he needs some time off. He'll know his own body, and he's a fit guy.
Yeah.
You can see on his Instagram page, he's putting in the hard yards. Still in pre-season.
If you want an example of an inspirational leader that barely played, you could look to Spurs fans and Ledley King. He was really, really important for that team, and fans wanted him there because he was so good at being a club captain, and John Terry offers that and a lot more fitness besides.
Got someone here, Mark Summers, who again commented on the Villa View John Terry announcement video on YouTube. Seems very negative about John Terry. He said, "What does it come to when we're celebrating a 36-year-old coming for 1 year on £5 million? How far have Villa fallen? I've supported Villa for over 38 years. I'm seeing all these messages saying great signing. Sorry, it's not. We're going backwards. Signing a 36-year-old. We're Aston Villa, not some Mickey Mouse club. Thought we were going in a new bright direction. I'm not impressed." So it's not taking the signing very well, Mark Summers, but I respect his opinion. I can see the point he's trying to make. Obviously, none of us know at this stage how the signing is going to go. I think it's good PR for Villa, and I'm pretty confident and comfortable that it will be a good signing on the pitch, and it is what we need. But Mark's been watching Villa for 38 years. He's seen a lot more football. Well, actually, unfortunately, not actually that much more football than me. I don't know. It's a difficult one. Like I say, there is going to be people who aren't impressed with the signing. I'd be interested whether that's based purely on the pitch. I mean, he hasn't mentioned off the pitch.
I don't think it can be just on the pitch. If you've seen how John Terry's played for a long time, John Terry's been a consummate professional on the pitch.
Yeah.
And been a great leader. So, I mean, yes, if we were signing a run of 36-year-olds, I would be worried. I feel like John Terry's a class above that, and I don't feel like it's a backward signing. I think if you surveyed the entire championship, everyone would have signed Terry for the money if they could.
Well, they had Villa's financial. Not saying we've got financial clout, but we've got more money than a lot of the
That's
teams
what I mean. Yeah.
In the championship. Be interested with what Mark's saying here. John Terry said himself he's expecting no favours. He's got to earn the respect of the supporters, and from some, me included, he'll get it instantly. But then there will be people like Mark who will take some working around the other way. So, but if John Terry plays well on the pitch, I'm sure Mark would change his opinion. If John Terry leads Villa back to the Premier League, and the thing is, I get why he's saying we're not some Mickey Mouse club, but John Terry is not a Mickey Mouse player, and Aston Villa finished 13th in the Championship. We beggars can't be choosers. We are where we are, and we deserve to be where we are. So the fact that we've managed to pull off a signing of someone with John Terry's reputation being 13th in the Championship, that says a lot about Aston Villa. So certainly we're no Mickey Mouse club.
Yeah, agreed.
Not at all. There's a few Chelsea fans as well wishing JT and Villa all the best for next season. I, for one, will be keeping an eye on the Championship. Captain, leader, legend, villain. See you all back in the Prem real soon. Nice message from Peter Warwick there. Good to see the Chelsea fans coming in now. So that's what I mean. You'll get other people interested in Villa who aren't Villa fans now.
Yep.
As well off the back of this. JG Ballard, another Chelsea fan. Don't listen to the naysayers. If Terry doesn't affect the dressing room and your defensive performance, then you'll know you're really in trouble. There are no guarantees, but if this game what you're trying to do is tip the odds in your favour, you've done that. I'll state the obvious. The guy never ever gives up. And that's what we need. Too often in recent years, Villa have been resigned to failure. You expect the team to concede a late goal. The players on the pitch expect to concede a late goal. And I think Bruce did, without including John Terry's on, I think Bruce went some way to rectifying that last season. Obviously, we were very defensive, and we've spoke before about how we will need to change the way we play. But Bruce made us a lot more solid, and this again makes us more solid. Hopefully, with the shackles off as well, the attacking players will be able to thrive.
We had a question on Twitter involving John, or inspired probably, I guess, by John Terry. It was from Kieran Hand at Kieran Hand 87. In keeping with the JT theme, who are your top 5 centre backs we've had in the club in the Premier League era? I always like Premier League era questions because it means I don't have to delve into the archives of pre-born stuff.
Also, it reminds me of happier times than when we were
that's true.
not in the Championship.
Looking at your list, it's very similar to mine. And I imagine if you're listening at home or watching at home, then your lists are probably similar across the board. Do you want to go through them?
Yeah, I had 4 absolute definites, and then I wasn't sure on my 5th. It could have been any one from 3, so I've gone with Paul McGrath, obviously. Olaf Melberg, again, pretty obvious. The aforementioned Martin Larsson. Gareth Southgate, I think, doesn't get enough credit, actually, for what he did at Villa. And then I've gone with Big Hugo, rest in peace, for the 5th. Because I just think he was a man mountain and a really good defender, but I could have quite easily gone for Steve Staunton, who you've gone for, or Sean Teal. Because, you've gone the same first 4 as me, haven't you?
Yeah, McGrath, Melberg, Larsson, Hugo, and then it was a Southgate / Steve Staunton. I didn't read the question right, and I thought it was defenders, Kieran, sorry. So I was trying to mix it up, but obviously centre-backs makes a lot more sense.
You've got away with it because Staunton did spend a lot of time at centre-back for us.
Yep. Do you want me to carry on reading?
If you've got anything else in there, and I can get it up as well. Decided to go with the questions a bit earlier today because we always leave it to the end when we're running out of time. It's important at this stage, actually, we should probably ask for some feedback because we've had a few people actually say they'd like the podcast to be longer. I can't imagine many people want to endure us for much longer than 45 minutes. But if you do think the podcast should be longer, then do let us know in the comments and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Again, I'd be surprised if anyone wants it to be longer than 45 minutes. Probably time to move on from John Terry a little bit now. But obviously, it is a massive coup. I think I've gone through all my notes. I didn't go onto the Harry Redknapp lies as much as I wanted to, but let's talk about Aston Villa.
Today is a big day actually, because if you're watching on YouTube, Dan's made a full page of notes, which is unbelievable, really, because last week you slagged off my note-taking process.
Well, no, there's notes, but I've not. You wanted a full-on construction of
I've
what
got
we should be
3 pages.
talking about every 5 minutes. You wanted like a run list. That's what you wanted.
No, just like a guideline. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit
Before
about...
you do that, I just want to say it's important to say that I did have a lot of extra time on my hands because you were so late.
Right, okay.
So I had time to make notes.
I invited that one.
Yeah.
As Dan mentioned earlier, the Villa View is primarily a YouTube channel, and it was great to watch the video earlier of the fans consultation group. Really enjoyed some of the updates there. Some of them were, kind of standard stuff that you need to go through as fans, like the catering, the Heineken,
God.
and the street food. I never want to hear about this service triangle again.
Matt showed some good knowledge about the old service triangle.
There was definitely some Googling going on behind the scenes.
I was caught with my pants down on that. I didn't have any clue what that was.
One of my favourite moments of that video is your face. About 6 minutes in, Matt's telling a story about his brother enjoying all the flags and the B6, and your face is just one of, why is he not watching the football?
Well,
I did enjoy that.
I'm not very good at hiding emotion. I quite often pull faces and stuff. I think I do wear my heart on my sleeve a little bit, so you can always tell what I'm thinking. Have you got any other pointers you want to bring up from that video?
Yeah, there's an excellent moment in it where everyone gets to relive Dan's attempted kick to halfway show, which is just dreadful. And
it really is.
It reminds me of a conversation somebody put on Twitter that they'd like to see a Villa View crossbar challenge, and just watching that just made me even more confident. I think I can handle Matt because I've seen his penalties, and just watching Dan try to kick the halfway, I'm confident I'm going to win that game.
The worst thing about that was that half-time game. I sat there every week for 2 years when everyone else was having a go and going, oh, what are they doing? It's so easy. Why can't they do it? And then for some reason on the day, my legs must have gone to jelly because that run-up was horrific.
Yeah,
that was almost as bad as the Matt Lynch hop and skip before the penalty. To be honest, I didn't get too much stick on YouTube. I don't even think it got mentioned.
You weren't as big
in the comments
back then.
No, but I'm saying from this video, I expected to get pelters, and it didn't happen.
So you should go back and watch it. It's on the Villa View YouTube.
I deserve pelters.
Yeah, you absolutely do. There's some really good points in there. Again, about the music choices at Villa Park, about the idea of a sensory room, which I thought was great that Matt brought that up. So, some really interesting points. So if you care about the club and you're interested about how things run behind the scenes, well worth checking that one out.
And remember as well, do send questions in for future fan consultations group, and we'll try and get them answered. It was Keith Winers who chaired that meeting. So we're talking to people at the top level. So if you've got any questions, any issues that you think are vital for Villa, then do please get them to us. I think one of the main things that came out of that meeting was we knew some of the players had gone on a pre-season. The club had hired somewhere in Portugal and invited all the players to go on a pre-season. Obviously, they didn't expect everyone to go because some players are fitter than others, probably don't need to go and can keep themselves fit in their own time. So I think the club said that they expected maybe 3 or 4 players to take them up on the offer, but it actually turned out that 12 players went, so they would have gone with their families, took their families along, and it would have been again another good thing.
I knew you were going to do that. I wanted to tell you, but you just kept getting closer and closer and closer.
So that would have been another good thing for team building. So we don't know exactly everyone that went, but I've got a list of players that did decide to go to that pre-season here that I know definitely went. So we've got Jordan Lydon, who obviously spent a lot of time injured, Gabby, Andre Green, Henry Lansbury, Ross McCormack, Alan Hutton, I think, Richie Delat, Mika Richards, and Jed Steer. So in that FCG video, I said fair play to Gabby and Mika because they take a lot of stick about not caring, but they've gone there of their own accord. They didn't have to go and try to get themselves fit. And to be fair to Gabby, he does look in good condition. Chris Amber was another one. That was there. He's still trying to earn himself a contract.
He just fancied a holiday.
He's been there for a while now, Chris Amber, and not got himself that contract. So I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to get it. But the big one for me that I think is absolutely massive that he went on that pre-season was Ross McCormack. I mean, we spoke about him a lot on this podcast, but I just think that's a really positive sign that he chose to go on that podcast. Maybe shows his commitment that maybe we didn't think was there for Villa. And if we get him fit, we've got a player at this level because he's a good championship player, proven championship player. If we can get him right, that's like a new signing already.
Totally. I thought the idea of a pre-season was really interesting. Actually, they do it in the NFL, which it's called voluntary workout. So you obviously don't have to go, but it's good for team building. And just looking at your list there, the players that have gone, a lot of them you kind of call veteran players, the more experienced guys who need this fitness to be ready. And you can tell there's a bunch there who the fight is still with them to get a spot in the squad and in the starting lineup. People like Mika Richards, obviously Gabby, Alan Hutton's going to have a battle for his place on those kind of players.
Well, Alan Hutton might not be here.
Well, we'll come on to that as well. But that's the idea, that you've got these players that are wanting to play still, and I just think that's brilliant.
Yeah, I think probably a good time to talk about Alan Hutton. That's on my list. So Sheffield Wednesday have been heavily linked with a move for him today. I think Villa want a fee, which maybe I think Sheffield Wednesday think they could have got him on the cheap because he's only got a year left on his contract. Bit of a funny one for Alan Hutton because obviously I've been not a big fan for a number of years now. Spent a lot of time criticising him, but I'd finally warmed to him, and it seems that he might be off. What do you think?
What do I think? Do I want him to go, or do I think he's off, or
either? Really, you're cool.
The news came from relatively good sources. I think that Sheffield Wednesday were interested, and you can kind of see why. The way he finished last year. Matt Lynch actually put on the Twitter, sound like my mum. Put on Twitter, buy, sell, keep or sell, and I would sell him. To Sheffield Wednesday seems an interesting one though because you're selling to a rival.
Point.
Pardon?
Not often you bring up a good football point. That's a good football point that I hadn't got down.
It took me a while to get there, but I did get there. 7 shows in.
Pleasing.
So that adds a little bit of a cloud over whether that will be good. But I feel like we've got backups at right back that can come in and do a job in the Championship.
Got better people who are better. I mean, he did. His renaissance towards the end of the season was sensational.
Yeah,
he made me look like an idiot. To be honest, in that second half of the season, he was genuinely a world beater.
Yeah.
At this level, I'll get you back for that. He was genuinely a world beater at this level. The thing is, we've got Richie Delat and James Bree, who are both younger than Alan Hutton. Alan Hutton, I think, even at the end of the year, would not be getting his contract renewed, however much of a cult hero he is with the fans. Bree's the future. Richie Delat's been there and got Leicester and Middlesbrough. He's been in teams that have got out of the Championship. His fitness perhaps is a concern because he obviously hasn't played for nearly a year. But we've also got Bakuna, who is the 12th man of the squad. I think he does a pretty good job when he plays right back. I actually think that's his best position. So I think Alan Hutton is expendable, if that's the right word. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Alan Hutton is expendable, unfortunately. Whether he wants to go to Sheffield Wednesday, I think, is another thing. I'm not sure he'll maybe want to move his family, although he commutes from somewhere with Mark Bunn. maybe Leicester way. I think he commutes anyway.
If you know where,
yeah,
if you know where Hutton and Bunn commute from, please let us know.
I think Bunn commutes from Leicester, but I'm not convinced Hutton would live around Abbey. I know he gets to training very early because of the commute.
Right.
Alan Hutton, but I think he is expendable. He's probably on bigger wages than Delat and Bree, and I just think what you say is an interesting point. Do we want to send him to Sheffield Wednesday? But will he drastically improve Sheffield Wednesday? They're a good team. Good team anyway. I mean, I couldn't name their right back right now if you paid me, but
No, I think he's good. But Alan Hutton always has seemed to be one of these players that has risen. So I'm pretty sure he would bite us when he came to play.
he's 32 though, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's only going to be on the decline.
Are we agreeing that if the offer is decent, then we'd sell?
He'll upset a lot of Villa fans. The Villa fans genuinely love that guy. Like genuinely, he is a cult hero at Villa. A bit like when Marlon Harewood was playing for Villa and he was my cult hero for no particular reason. But as I say, he did well second half of the season. I can give him his due. And I was going to have to get him on my shirt at one point. I definitely won't be taking that chance now if he's going to potentially.
Why are we going to get him on your shirt?
Because I did that big apology, and then someone said, "What would it take for me to get Alan Hutton on the back of my shirt next season?" I said if he scored, I'd get him on the back of my shirt. He came very close.
Wow.
A couple of times, so I got away with it. But it's funny. It's a shame. It'd be a shame if he goes now.
Yeah.
Really, I feel a bit upset about it. Unbelievably.
It's all right, mate. There'll be other right backs.
But we are well stocked there. Mika Richards as well.
Yeah, well,
he's another one, and we're paying him mega money, so we might as well use him.
This is it. Like, whatever comes out of that pre-season, if Mika Richards is in any sort of shape and form, then he's going to want to fight for that right back spot as well. So
the other thing is Bruce likes Mika Richards because his first game against Wolves at Villa Park, Bruce, the first thing he did was put Mika Richards at right back, and then he got injured for the rest of the season.
Yep.
That was the first thing he does. And if Richards can get fit, he's another one. If his fitness isn't a problem, should be too good for this level. I still don't think he's a centre back. I don't think he's got the awareness to be a centre back. I think most of the time he's centre back, he wants to play. Seems like he wants to play in midfield. He's all over the place.
Yeah,
right back, he could still do a decent job. I think he's a bruiser.
He's
Absolute
a
beast.
Big lad. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Goalkeeper situation's another thing that's been brought up a few times. It still seems no closer to being sorted. But Tony Jara said on Twitter today, "Don't worry about it. I don't think Villa fans need to worry about goalkeeper." My understanding is that Sam Johnston is still going to be Villa's goalkeeper next season. As far as I know, there's been some big links with Joe Hart. The odds have gone right down on Joe Hart, but absolutely no chance. We're not going to sign Joe Hart because Man City don't want to loan him. And there's absolutely no way we can afford his wages.
Yeah, I don't think.
A chance.
I don't think we could afford his wages if Man City were paying part of it either. Like, he's on some crazy money.
Yeah, someone asked me if I was a betting man, who would I put money on Villa's goalkeeper being at the start of the season, and it would be Johnston. But I'm still interested about. I keep burping because I'm drinking too much Coke.
Thanks for that.
Someone commented on my choice of drink. Actually, they slagged me off for drinking Red Bull.
Well, Diet Coke wasn't a better option.
Slightly better, but I would like to point out I did also drink coconut water for the first few shows, and no one was saying congratulations on drinking your coconut water. So I don't think I should be getting called out on my choice of beverage.
Beverage sponsors are available. We are actively looking for a beverage or otherwise sponsor.
Yeah. This was a good question. Dan Smith Music 97 on Twitter. What would you say is going to be our strongest lineup with potential outgoings and incomings? I actually haven't listened to the question properly, and I've actually picked my lineup without taking into account new signings. But again, I think the side is almost there. I think we need more players squad-wise. I think there's a few we need to shift. But I think the basis of the first team is there. So I've got Sam Johnson in goal, presumably signs, Bree right back, Taylor left back, Chester and Terry centre back, and I've gone for my old fancied formation of midfield diamond with Jednak at the base, Lansbury and Horahan in front of him, and then Grealish playing in his favoured position number 10 behind Hogan and Codger. I just think that formation gets your best players into the team. It enables Hogan to play, and it enables the midfield to play and Jack to play in his favourite position as well. But I think there will be a video on the Villa View about tactics coming soon, so I'm not going to say too much. Your thoughts on that team?
Yeah, I quite like that. It's a bit old-fashioned, isn't it, the diamond? I always like the diamond, but people don't seem to utilise it anymore.
Tim Sherwood played it.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go.
No, but even when we were doing well, we played
yeah. I think you could feasibly turn that into a 3.
Yeah, you could. Flexible.
Yeah, always. Jednak, Lansbury, Horahan in the middle, and then, I mean, Jack Grealish, if there's a 3 up front, he tends to get pushed out to the left a little bit.
Yeah, not his position.
No.
We've done Grealish to death.
Yeah.
To be fair, in the podcast, everyone knows what I think.
Yes, yeah. So we're sick of what you think. I had some pre-season update since last week. All tickets are on sale now for Shrewsbury, Walsall, and the Cup of Traditions.
Yeah.
So you can get your tickets online there. Do you know who's playing in the Cup of Traditions, the German tournament?
I've completely forgotten.
MSV Duisburg, who are hosting the tournament, I think. Hertha Berlin.
Big team.
And Malaga.
Malaga,
who just lost that centre forward to Everton.
Oh, yeah.
Sandro.
So, let me tell you, Everton are spending some serious money.
They are.
They must be presuming that Lukaku's going with the money they're spending, you think.
I would think so, yeah.
Just going through some more comments here. Someone said here, Tor Lovestad, who comments on quite a lot of our videos, watches from somewhere in Scandinavia, I'm going to presume, but I don't know where. Evening to Tor. Nice to see Matt Lynch again. Has your cooperation with Ladbrokes ended? Yes, it has. Currently, anyway, the association with Ladbrokes is over. It was over at the end of the season when the football finished. So we are on the lookout for any form of sponsorship. If anyone wants to get in touch with us around sponsoring either the podcast or the Villa View in general, then please do, and we'll send you a pack.
A pack?
Yeah, we've got a pack.
Wow.
Dan Rolinson working hard, beavering away.
Brilliant stuff.
Behind the scenes, the ever reliable Dan Rolinson. I realised I could have shared the iPad with you when you were reaching across me then to get it back.
That's fine.
Someone's asked Joey Ireland what formation do you think currently suits the set of players we have at the moment. I think that maybe was the question I'd read when I did my team. We've done right backs. Kane Robertson asked us about right backs. The Hobbitron. Do you know if the pre-season games will be streamed? As well as Aston Villa, I also support Kidderminster Harriers, but unfortunately I'm in Germany for when they play. I think the UK are definitely, and I think they're looking at the abroad. So I think if you're lucky, all games should be streamed. That's nothing there. Anything else you want to talk about, Tom? How far in are we? We always do this. Oh, we've still got time. Time flies.
I think you've exhausted my my copious amounts of notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dan's kicked to halfway. We definitely mentioned that, which is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Codger. We haven't mentioned Codger. He's apparently going to be fit for the start of the season, which is great news. That's a big bonus.
That is a huge start. If we can start with Hull with our full strength side, then we're laughing.
Yeah. I'll tell you what we haven't talked about, the new kit. It's kind of been overshadowed by John Terry coming in. The kit was announced on Saturday.
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
We saw the kit for the first time, and fans, I think they've got to be quick, and actually this will be over by the time people watch this. But you've got to get your kit by midnight to be entered into the draw to play a game, a tournament at Bodymore Heath.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah,
fans.
Too late for that one. What did you think of the kit?
I like them. I think they're both really smart, and I actually really like the claret socks. They look a bit odd.
I like the claret
but
socks.
I actually really like them, but they do seem to be a different shade of claret.
Yeah.
To the shirt, which is a bit odd. But I thought John Terry looked very good in his kit. I hope I look that good when I put the kit on.
I had a few comments.
I doubt it.
You definitely won't. I had a few comments. Why is John Terry wearing a shirt and holding a shirt?
He loves the shirt. He just loves kits. John Terry.
Good to have a spare.
He probably had shin pads on.
I don't really like the Unibet. It looks too small and too long.
I don't mind it.
It just doesn't really fit to me. But obviously you're quite happy to get rid of QuickBooks. So anything was going to be better.
Matt was very happy to get rid of the QuickBooks mascot, the M&M guy. He took a real dislike to him, an irrational hatred.
Yeah, watch the fans group consultation group video for that, because Matt has some weird M&M phobia.
Mascot issues. Should have probably asked him if he likes mascots in general, because he seemed very upset.
He did.
By that green M&M. I mean, I agree, he was pointless. But anyway, he's walking around in the Villa shirt. Kids are on. The mascots aren't for you, Matt. It's probably what we should be saying. Jordan Amavi's off.
Yep.
Looks like he's going to Seville.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this to death, haven't we, really?
It doesn't even look like we're getting our money back.
No.
We're like the worst sellers of players that there's ever been. Because like in a time when money is mad in football, like we gave Fabian Delph away for 8 million when we probably could have got 20 for him, had not been for that ridiculous clause.
Yeah.
We lost Garner.
He knew that though, didn't he? Fabian Delph, that was
scumbag.
Yeah, that was worse.
We lost Garner last summer for cheap, and he's gone on to be very well liked and rated at Everton, when perhaps he wasn't by all. At Villa, Veritu's back in pre-season training. I was actually surprised he turned up. I wouldn't, because I don't think he wants to be at Villa. But fair play to him, he came to pre-season training. I'm not sure if he's gone to Portugal.
Yeah.
with the rest of the squad, you presume he probably has. He's an interesting one because I think he's a good footballer, and again, someone who should be too good for the Championship.
Yep. I totally agree, and it's a shame we do seem to buy high and sell low at the moment, and hopefully we can turn that around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think I haven't managed to find the question, but someone said they're getting a bit worried that we haven't managed to shift the Deadwood. It's still early.
I will say the transfer window opened 4 days ago, so
here it is, John Taylor. I can see what he's getting at though, because we don't want to be. Say, for example, if Steve Bruce doesn't rate Verita, we don't want to be sat with someone who I presume are paying about 40, 50 grand a week, sat there not doing anything. We can't afford to do that, especially with the money we've spent over the last 12 months. There's no way Villa can afford to do that. Carlos Hill, he's not in Portugal, definitely, but he doesn't seem to have come back to pre-season training either. I didn't see him on the little video that the official site did, so that's a bit worrying, because we're struggling to sell him. But he's someone I think we can use.
Yep, again, it's a concerning situation. If he's not in Portugal and not part of the squad, you think that he's not long for this squad. But again, I think it was John there mentioned that maybe long season loans might be the answer once more.
Yeah. Before we do wrap up, I just wanted to defend Villa's social media announcement of John Terry, because I've got a bit of criticism. The article in the Telegraph was an absolute disgrace.
I think it's been totally blown out of proportion. I saw Joe criticising it the other day, joe.co.uk. They love stuff like that. That's what they make. I felt like maybe they thought that Villa were encroaching on their territory. I thought it was fun.
I mean, I thought for once, the club's media hasn't always been brilliant. I do think to some extent the hands are tied, but the last 18 months I think it's been a lot better, a lot more enjoyable, and I think that was good to see Villa ahead of the curve in doing something like that. Did you see Salah's announcement when he signed for Liverpool?
No. It
was just someone was scrolling through a phone on Twitter saying where all the people had said announce Salah, and then just cut to Salah and he went Salah announced. I'm sure people rave about that because it was Liverpool.
Yeah.
If Man U had thought of what Villa did yesterday, they'd be getting praise in all the nationals.
Yeah.
I thought it was really clever and really funny.
Yeah, and there's been a few different things. It's with the times, isn't it? Like there's been a few bits and pieces like that which have been praised, and it's a non-story for me. I liked it.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know.
I thought it was really good, ahead of the curve for once, and hopefully we'll be seeing a few more signings in the coming weeks. As I've said for the last 3 weeks, I'm confident there will be one soon, and then hopefully a few more will follow. That's the other thing. People may want to join Aston Villa now because of John Terry, just to get a chance to play with the legend of the game, and that can only be a good thing.
Do you want to hear something exciting?
Go on then.
Next week, when we do the podcast, after that Saturday, there'll be football.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait.
Aston Villa v Shrewsbury. Get excited.
The Shrews.
That's it.
I'd like to go to that actually, but I don't think I can. I think I've got alternative plans.
Somebody asked on Twitter, will the Villa View be at any pre-season? I think the answer to that is yes.
To be confirmed.
But to be confirmed,
currently.
Which ones?
Yeah, we don't know yet. We've all three of us have actually got stuff going on outside of the Villa View at the moment. Some of it will be up in the air, so hopefully we'll know more in the coming weeks. But suffice to say, we will be getting the videos going again. Always enjoy producing content to people, enjoy hearing what people think, even the negatives. We managed to get our first 1-star. No, we got 2 1-star reviews on iTunes, didn't we?
Yeah.
Mainly my fault by the sounds of things.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I think. I think if I'm not going to spend too much time on it. If you want to listen, great. If you like the podcast, leave a review. If you don't like the podcast, fine. Leave a review as well. I'm not going to make you listen.
No. It'd be nice to get some more 5 stars in there. Reviews really do help us. So if you can review us on iTunes, preferably positive, then again, please do. That'd be great.
Please do. Yeah.
For us, I think we've touched on most things that we wanted to touch on. A good podcast, I think. Today, lots to discuss. I feel excited. The John Terry signing has genuinely excited me.
Yeah, I think that's it. We spent 15-20 minutes just on John Terry because
it's such a big deal.
Because it's great. So it's good to have things to actually talk about. And as I say, next week we'll be looking forward to actual football. So roll on the next season.
Yeah. Thanks ever so much for listening and watching. We'll be back again next week for Villa View podcast number 8, where hopefully Tom Julian will turn up on time.
Here's hoping.
He's done me over. Just so everyone knows, it's 8:30 now, so I've stayed at work 3 hours longer than I actually needed to. So thanks to Tom for that.
Nobody cares. So
no, they don't. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Love the Villa. Cheers.
Cheers.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.